Time. It's a concept, something we're completely obsessed with. It's why movies about time are always such massive blockbusters, like Endgame, Avengers, Star Trek, or that show Dark. We humans are always dreaming of the day we can jump to the future to see what's waiting for us, or zip back to the past just to, get yesterday's winning lottery numbers, or just to buy Bitcoin. Simple as that. So, can we actually time travel? The short answer is yes. But to pull it off, there are some seriously major conditions we have to meet, and the full juicy answer is waiting for you at the end of this video. So what are you waiting for? Let's take a trip through time. First off, you need to get one thing straight. You are already a time traveler. Right now. You're hurtling into the future at a speed of 60 seconds per minute. For real, seriously, by the time you finish this video, you'll probably be a good 10-something minutes older. According to Einstein, time is one of the 4 dimensions of our universe. Our universe is made of space and time, and those two combine to make 4 dimensions. Your coordinates. My coordinates? The coordinates of everything in this universe are all plotted on that 4D grid. Space has length, width, and height, but time? It only has one direction, forward. It never goes in reverse. So, according to Einstein, we can't ever go back to the past. But hold on. I'll get to that in a minute, because the answer might still be a maybe. First, let's talk about traveling to the future. Also, according to Einstein, time is relative. That means if one thing moves super fast compared to another, its time will tick by slower than the thing that's standing still. And when that speed gets ridiculously fast, like almost the speed of light, the time gap between the moving object and the stationary one gets massive. And that's not even counting how gravity messes with time. Gravity can bend light, it can warp space-time, it does all sorts of crazy stuff. But hold up, we can't dive too deep into that, because if we do, this whole video will turn into me being your physics professor, and it would get way too long. So let's just stick to time. From what I just said, we already have the answer to our first question. Can we travel to the future? The answer is yes, under these conditions. Condition number 1, we have to be able to travel at, or near, the speed of light. Just those 2 options are exhausting enough. Don't even talk about going faster than light. So, when we hop on a spaceship going at the speed of light, our time passes way slower than for the people back on Earth. How much slower? Let me give you an example. Let's say we get on a ship going at almost the speed of light and travel to a star 40 light years away. We go for 1 year, turn around, and come back for another year. For us, only 1 or 2 years have passed. But for everyone back on Earth, they've aged 82 years. That's how you travel to the future, right? But who has time for that? If I go on a trip, I want to come back in my own time. But did you know? There's something traveling into the future every single day that we use without even realizing it. You know what it is? It's your GPS, your Google Maps. Do you know how GPS pinpoints your location? It uses satellites orbiting the Earth. Because those satellites are flying at 14,000 kilometers per second, time up there is about 7 microseconds slower for them than it is for us. But wait, there's more. At their altitude, 20,000 kilometers up, gravity is only 1/4 as strong as it is down here. This actually makes the atomic clocks on the GPS satellites run faster by 45 microseconds. Because, like I said, according to Einstein's relativity, gravity messes with time. It bends space-time. So, you do the math. 45 minus 7, and each GPS satellite clock runs 38 microseconds faster than ours on Earth. Those clocks are literally traveling into the future every single day. And to take it a step further, astronauts who go to space, because they move pretty slow out there, not as fast as GPS clocks, you know what they are? They're future travelers. Because when they return to Earth, they're always a few dozen to a few hundred microseconds younger than the rest of us. So what can you do with that extra time? Obviously, hit subscribe on NoCap Bro. Because the stuff I just told you, you're not going to find it anywhere else. Okay, you probably can find it on the internet, but explain this simply, this engagingly, and this clearly. Come on, who else is doing it? And that's how you travel to the future. Just hop on a light speed ship and you're off. because your time will pass way slower than for everyone on Earth. So, what about going back to the past? Well, that gets way more complicated. Some scientists say it's impossible. You can't go back. You need the past to have the present and the future. It's called causality. You need a cause to have an effect. You need an introduction to get to the conclusion. But if we bring something called a wormhole into the picture, then traveling to the past becomes totally possible. So, what's a wormhole? Simply put, it's a tunnel through space-time connecting two different points in the universe. Those points can be close or super far apart. But usually, we talk about them being super far apart because that's cooler. Who needs a wormhole that just gets you across the room, right? A wormhole is made of two ends. One is a black hole, the other is a white hole, and a space-time tunnel connects them. Normally, you'd have to take the long, winding road. But with a wormhole, you go straight from A to B, the shortest way possible. It's like folding space-time in half. So, my explanation makes it sound like a wormhole is just a shortcut from A to B. So what does that have to do with going to the past? Ah, that's what I'm about to tell you. How do you use a wormhole to go back in time? How does it work? It's super simple. You just combine a wormhole with traveling at the speed of light. Boom! Back to the past in a flash. Easy peasy, right? Well, yeah, right. No cap, bro. I don't get it at all. I'm watching your video. You said it would be easy to understand. Super simple. But you just skipped all the steps. Why am I even watching this? Don't you dare do that to me. Explain it, clearly. Remember, you're not a physics teacher, okay? Don't you try to bore me to sleep like it's physics class. Don't just rush through it. Okay, let me break it down like this. Remember the example about traveling to the future? We get on a light speed ship, go to a planet 40 light years away. After a 1-year trip there and 1 year back, 82 years have passed on Earth. Remember that? That's future travel on a light speed ship. To go to the past, we combine that light speed travel with a wormhole. How? Okay, check this out. What would happen if we created a pair of wormholes and then sent one end of it traveling along with that light speed spaceship? At that point, when the ship has traveled for 1 year, that's equivalent to 40 years on Earth. You get it. The time gap becomes 40 years. That means if, after 1 year, you step into the wormhole end that's on the ship, you are literally traveling 40 years into the past. Meaning, if in 1984 you get on a light speed ship that has a wormhole mouth on it, while the other mouth stays on Earth, when you step into that wormhole, you'll pop out on Earth, and the year will only be 1985. That's how you go back to the past, my friends. Theoretically, going back to the past is totally doable if we combine wormholes and light speed travel. Super simple, right? And that is exactly where it gets not simple. Because to travel at or near the speed of light, Einstein says your mass has to become infinite. Your weight would be insane. Hearing this, all the ladies are immediately out. I'm already feeling heavy at 120 pounds, and you want me to get on a ship to go to the past for a minute, and my weight becomes infinite. Nope, I'm good in the present. The future's fine, but let's just ditch the past, okay? And wait, it gets better. To travel at light speed, besides infinite mass, you also need to have zero length. Hearing this, all the guys are out too. Excuse me? Zero length? I'm trying to make mine longer, and you're telling me it has to be zero. Forget it. I'm fine in the present. I'll work with what I've got. And that's just the issues with weight and length. What about the energy needed to get to light speed? The amount of energy is absolutely mind-blowing. People say that all the energy humanity has ever produced in our entire history on Earth wouldn't be enough to power that ship for maybe 2 millimeters. It's insane. It's not happening. And we haven't even gotten to the wormhole part yet. A wormhole is basically a combo of a black hole and a white hole, with a space-time tunnel in between. To make one, scientists would have to create both a black hole and a white hole. But to this day, no one has even proven that white holes actually exist. And while wormholes theoretically exist, in reality, they're thought to be tiny. The size is about 10 to the negative 33 centimeters. That's like a billionth of a billionth of a billionth of an electron. It's ridiculously small. We only know wormholes exist in theory from the math. But in the real world, no one has ever made one or found proof of one. It's all just on paper. And after doing the math, scientists say that to make a wormhole big enough for a person to get through and stable enough to attach one end to a ship, you'd need something else, exotic matter. This isn't dark matter, okay? And it's not antimatter. It's a type of matter with negative energy and negative pressure. It's this exotic matter that could potentially keep the space-time tunnel of the wormhole stable enough for us to pass through. But another problem, exotic matter also only exists in theory. Based on the equations of physics and math geniuses, they know it should exist, but we've never found it. So, in short, making a wormhole is already hard. Making it big enough for a person to fit through is also hard. Not to mention problem number 3. When we, as beings made of normal matter, try to go through a wormhole, our very presence would make it unstable and it could collapse at any second. And you can only travel back to the past up to the point in time when the wormhole was first created. You can't go any further back than that. That's another issue right there. So, according to scientists, in theory, we can go back in time. But in reality, with our current technology, it's completely impossible. Time travel to the future or the past is not possible with what we have today. That's the answer for this video. But in the future? You never know. There are so many things we couldn't have imagined that exist today, right? Like when I was a kid, the first time I played a game on the NES, it was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen. And now, games look just like movies. It's insane. That happened in just a few decades. Imagine what could happen in a lifetime, or a few lifetimes, right? If you've ever seen Star Trek, you probably know it created something called the Star Trek generation. It created a whole generation of kids who watched Star Trek, and when they grew up, they invented the technologies they saw in the show. It's incredible. The things we have now, like smartwatches, iPads, Bluetooth, USB drives, even automatic doors. Those were things that first appeared in sci-fi movies and were made real by the people who watched them as kids. Because they grew up wanting to live in a world with the cool stuff they saw on screen. And you know what? What I'm doing here on the No Cap Bro YouTube channel with these videos on knowledge, history, psychology, I'm hoping to create an effect just like the Star Trek generation for the kids of the future. That's why I make these videos, and I hope you'll support that by subscribing to No Cap Bro. It's the easiest way. Because you know what? Okay, you are the change you've been waiting for. Don't wait for someone else, for some person you keep wishing would come along. That person is you. That person is sitting right here. It's me. I used to be just like you. I waited for someone else too, until I realized I had to be the one to make the change. So I started doing this. I hope you'll support it by subscribing. Let's stop thinking that we need to go to the future or the past to change our lives. We can absolutely change everything starting right here in the present. So let's take action.